Most people think that beginners quit backpacking because it's hard. But after years on the trail, I've realized something different. People don't quit because backpacking is miserable. They quit because they made a few mistakes early on. And those mistakes convinced them that backpacking wasn't for them. In this video, I'm going to show the biggest mistakes beginner backpackers make. And if you avoid these, your chances of loving backpacking go way up. If you're new to this channel, I'm Ricky, and this is your trail buddy. And I've spent decades hiking and backpacking in places like the Rocky Mountains and the Colorado Trail. And I've seen the same things over and over again. Someone goes out on their first hike, something goes wrong, they're miserable, and they never go again. So I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that that doesn't happen to you. This is the number one mistake, and it's not even close. Most beginners think, I might need this. What if something happens? I should probably just bring some extra gear. So they end up packing everything. And suddenly they're carrying 40, 50, and sometimes 60 pounds. But here's the problem. Heavy backpacks don't just make hiking harder. They make everything else worse. You get tired faster. Your knees hurt more. Your shoulders start hurting. You end up moving slower and enjoying less. And instead of enjoying the mountains, now you're just suffering. Most experienced backpackers eventually realize that you don't need more gear. You need less gear that works better. This one ends up destroying your confidence. Beginner backpackers look at a map and say, 10 miles doesn't sound that far. But backpacking miles are not the same as normal miles because you're carrying weight, you're climbing elevation, and you're navigating challenging terrain. And suddenly that 10 miles feels like 20. So what ends up happening? You arrive to camp exhausted. You end up stressing about daylight. You end up not even enjoying camp. Or you even wake up feeling sore. And you end up thinking, maybe backpacking's just not for me. But I'm here to tell you, it's not you. It's the plan. The smartest beginner trips are short, forgiving, and confidence building. Nothing ruins trips faster than gear problems. I've seen tents that people can't set up, stoves that wouldn't light, sleeping pads that leaked, and packs that didn't even fit. And when that happens in the wilderness, the stress levels just go way up. Backpacking ends up feeling unsafe. Your confidence starts to fall. Experienced backpackers do something simple. They test their gear at home, in their backyard, at a local park. They do a couple car camping trips with their gear, or they just start with a single overnight. Confidence then starts to come as you start to get familiar with the systems. Now this one tends to surprise people. Sleep determines whether you love or hate backpacking. If you're cold, uncomfortable, or even restless, everything ends up feeling harder the next day. And beginners end up making these same mistakes. Cheap sleeping pads with no insulation. Sleeping bags with untested ratings. They don't use a pillow, or they just use the wrong sleep clothing. One bad night can convince someone that backpacking isn't fun. And one good night can make them fall in love with it. Sleep is not a place where you cut corners. Now this here is the biggest mental mistake that you can make. Somewhere along the way, most people decided that backpacking had to be suffering in order to count. It doesn't. Backpacking should feel peaceful, freeing, rewarding, adventurous. Yeah, you're gonna have challenges. But beginners who struggle usually aren't failing. They just started with the wrong approach. When you remove unnecessary weight, plan realistic miles, use gear that works, and end up getting a good night's sleep, backpacking ends up becoming amazing. I remember early on realizing that the difference between a miserable trip and an amazing trip wasn't toughness. It was preparation. Once I started carrying less weight and planning smarter trips, everything just changed. If you're new to backpacking and you want a step-by-step walkthrough of everything that you need to know, I actually created a complete beginner's backpacking video that covers gear, planning, food, safety, everything. I'll put the link in the description below. And if you want something printable, I also created a beginner's backpacking guide that you can download. I'll make sure that both of the links are down below. If this video helped you, hit that subscribe button, because I make videos to help people get outside with more confidence and less frustration. And I'd love to hear from you. What mistakes did you make on your first trip? Drop it in the comments down below, because honestly, we've all made at least one. So hopefully this was useful for you guys. And as always, guys, hopefully I see you out on the trail.